outcomes era is, I think, a really nice encapsulation of what brands have cared about for a long time, and that's true performance. Brands want to be able to show their board and their CFO and their customers that they are running a profitable business. And I think what the outcomes era is encapsulating is that brands need that proof that when they're marketing, whether it's a TV spot or a social spot or it's retail media or similar to what we do in the promotion space, that they can prove that it is driving an actual outcome. It's actually making someone do something, and preferably in a profitable way. Obviously, profitability is the goal of all the businesses, so that's a key part as well. So outcomes are easy to do in a moment, but how do you do it at scale? I think that is a real differentiator for platforms that can deliver outcomes. I spent a long time at Twitter. We had really nice scale, but not as much scale as some of the other platforms, and that made it hard for us to keep the campaigns going. I spent some time in connected TV. There's a lot of scale there and a lot of opportunity to deliver great outcomes on behalf of advertisers. So I think if you're a brand looking to drive outcomes and you're talking to all the publishers that are here at CES, you have to ask yourself, is there scale? Can we reach enough people such that this will really move our business? You have to ask, can the platform enable some form of targeting that will allow us to differentiate a potentially good customer from a potentially not as good customer? And then finally, how are they going to measure that? How are we going to see a report that says this worked or it didn't work? I think a lot of, in the space that we operate in CPG, a lot of the measurement has been post-campaign measurement. You're thinking MMM studies that come back and are helpful, but they happen way after the campaign. So I would be looking for scale. I'd be looking for the ability to target the right customer with my offering or message, and then ultimately the ability to measure it. I want somebody to tell me, did this work? Did it meet my objective or not? I joined Ibotta just about a year ago, and I was very compelled by the opportunity to bring a lot of the experience I had in social and connected television to the promotions landscape. A promotion at its core is just another element that's trying to compel a consumer to do something. If you think about the full funnel, a consumer is going to be inspired, they're going to be at a consideration stage, and then ultimately they're going to get that place where are they going to convert or not? And Ibotta, via our promotions, provide a really powerful mechanism to make a consumer take action. And the thing that excited me is we're not only doing that, but we're doing that by helping brands target the right customer. So understanding the difference between you and I and making sure the right offer gets to me and the right offer gets to you. And then finally, how do we measure that? So how do we show a brand intra-campaign that the campaign is meeting their objectives? This is all common table stakes in the world of digital media. It's been happening in social for a long time. It happens in traditional programmatic, and you're seeing it in CTV. You're seeing the rise of performance CTV. All of that exists. In the promotions landscape, we're not there. And so that's where we really differentiate ourselves. We want to be able to clearly deliver value and impact to our customers and prove to them through reporting that they trust that it's actually working. And I think that opportunity is tremendous because there's a lot of money that flows through traditional trade and promotions, a lot more than flows through media. And we just need to do a better job of illustrating to the brands that it's actually making their business work. Retail media is on a tear or a rise like we have never seen before. The growth that's predicted is incredible, just quite simply. And I think it's growing because it offers that promise of being able to take the behaviors and audiences that exist inside of a retail ecosystem and match them with what a brand is looking for to bring together this perfect, harmonious conversion event. I think that Ibotta exists as the ultimate and perfect complement to retail media. It's not an either or by any means. You have to inspire a customer. You need to help the customer see what you do. What's your value proposition? You have to help them as they're thinking about considering, okay, do I need to buy the shampoo this week or could I wait till next week? And all of that traditional media that we would find in digital display and in CTV and in social, that's where retail media really shines. Retail media also will pull you through to the bottom of the funnel. So if you think about the search experience if you're on Walmart.com or you're on Instacart and you're searching for laundry detergent or toothpaste, as many American consumers do, what we do is we help show up and just pull that customer through. If you see two types of toothpaste underneath a search and one of them has, one brand is offering $2 cash back if you buy their product and the other isn't, that gives the consumer the opportunity to make that choice. How important is the brand? How important is the value? The brand is incredibly important, but the American consumer cares so much about value right now that we just attach ourselves to that product and help the brand compel the person to ultimately buy it. The great news about our business is we only charge a brand when the transaction has happened. So there's no cost in working with us to show up and to get the consumer to click through and think even further. You're only paying when the transaction actually happens. And our software helps you determine how much you should be paying so that you can make sure that it's a profitable transaction for you. And this notion of incremental sales and incremental impact, or even the incrementality, is, I think, top of mind right now, because brands are asking themselves, they're saying, I'm happy to spend more with you, platform A or B, if you can show me that it's driving the impact. Please don't just ask me to invest more in your platform without showing me the impact that you're delivering. And so I think it's critical for all platforms to work not only with their own teams to build their own suite of measurement tools that will illustrate to a brand the impact that they're having, the incremental revenue that's being generated from this campaign. I think it's also really important to work with third-party ecosystem providers that provide measurement as well. That's something that we are very focused on, such that when a brand works with us, they'll see our reporting, but we also want them to be able to pass that data to someone like Circana or somebody like ABCS that is also doing reports for them and helping them see the incremental impact of their campaigns. So I think a brand needs to look for, the publisher has to do measurement. The publisher has to have a keen eye on the incremental impact that's being driven. And then finally, if I was a brand, I would want to be able to validate that with a third party. I expect that the budgets will flow to the platforms that are quote unquote working. Now, ultimately, what does working mean? That's up to the advertiser, and that comes back to setting goals and objectives. I think television is critically important. I think social is critically important. I think compelling consumers through influencers is critically important. I think it's also important to pull through, drive that consideration, and then ultimately drive the purchase. I think what we will see is brands concentrate dollars around platforms that can prove the outcomes that are desired are happening. So if it's a CTV platform, the brand wants to understand that someone, an actual human, watched their ad. The brand wants to understand that the human actually took an action downstream. If it's a social channel, it's easier. You can see a click-through, or you can measure through a conversion API what ultimately happens. I think that that's where we will see dollars concentrate. And platforms that don't have that will struggle, because they will find themselves in conversations where they struggle to prove the actual efficacy of the campaign. And there's so many platforms, as we're seeing this week at CES, there's more platforms than we've ever seen. The platforms that can prove they're driving value, I think that's where you'll see marketers get comfortable and concentrate their spend.